Parlour, and with Valentine's Day fast approaching, I thought it would be really nice to do something different than a love spell. I actually already have a love spell on my YouTube channel, and I thought, what about mending a broken heart? And during this time of fertility and new growth and spring coming into fruition so quickly, this is where the season of love comes into play, and Valentine's Day becomes a very popular holiday in America. And for many, it also reminds them of the love that they might have lost, or the love that they don't have in their life right now. And it can lead to a lot of people feeling depressed or sad, or maybe just going through really tough heartache in general. And so I thought it would be nice and something different for those of you who might need it to do a mending a broken heart spell. It's pretty simple to do. It doesn't take much of skill set in terms of hobby or sewing, but you do need to know how to basically sew a little bit so that you can mend your heart if it is broken, so that you can grow and prosper from whatever experience it was that caused you pain. You can heal it and move forth and grow and learn from it, because all of us need to learn a lesson at some times, and sometimes they're not always easy. And so you can definitely cast this spell for a loved one or a friend, but you need to ask their permission first, because it is their heart, their love that you'll be mending. So you can do it with them in mind. So for this one of our friends is going through it right now, and so I thought it'd be nice to do a little mending a broken heart spell for him and see if that helps him out a bit. But again, you can do it for yourself, you can do it for a loved one, but always ask permission first. You want to get them, you can do spells on people, but they don't usually work because of the law of free will. You need to have them be able to accept and receive the energy that you're going to be sending out. So without further ado, I'd like for you to watch, and I will show you everything that you need. I will also leave everything in the description below, so that you know what kind of tools you can use. It's a very simple spell. It doesn't take much. It just takes your own intention and your own attention to the energy that you're putting into mending a broken heart. Alright, so for this spell you'll need quite a few things, but they're simple things, and a lot of the stuff you can find at local craft stores or grocery stores. First and foremost, so you will need some red rosebuds or pink, but rosebuds nonetheless, because you need to be able to harness that love energy. So I'm going to be using some from my store. I also have the witch hazel, which is really all about mending and healing. So mending broken hearts is a big one for witch hazel, so we're going to be using some of that today. We're going to need a pestle and mortar, which is, I'm using a heavy duty one, you can use a small one. And basically we're just going to crunch down the size of the herbs, just crush them a little bit so that they fit better in the little sachet that you're going to make. You'll also need some good scissors that can cut ribbon really clean, and also some felt, because you're going to need something pretty sharp. You're also going to need some kind of healing oil. You can use an amber essential oil or any healing oil blend that you may have made in the past that's your go-to. I offer these on my website, so it's easier to use it when it's just ready to go. You will also need some red embroidery thread. You can use a deeper, darker color, but I went with really vibrant red because I wanted to pull that energy to be very vibrant. You will also need an orange candle of some sort, because orange is connected to our sacral chakra, so it has a lot to do with healing and just that nurturing that we might need when we have a broken heart. So Mending candle I offer in my shop as well, but you can use any orange candle. You can use a votive candle or a large candle, just any orange candle, so that you can pull in that energy. And then you're going to maybe want to incorporate a little bit of clear quartz somewhere on the table that you're working, just to amplify the energy that you're working with, because you're going to be working with a lot of love energy. And so with that, you need to have some rose quartz with you. You're going to need pieces that are not too big. You don't want something too big, because it needs to be able to fit in a heart about the size of your palm. So maybe a rose quartz that's no more than about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in diameter would be very helpful. Usually tumbled stones work perfectly for that. This could even be, if you use maybe a tumbled stone that broke in the past, but then be careful with your intention on that, because you know that if it's broken, does that mean the energy you're putting in is broken? So it's just mindful, it depends on how you're using it. You're also going to definitely need some red felt. It's really easy to buy a red felt square at any hobby supply store. They're really rather cheap, usually like $1 for a nice size square like this. And you can use a different shade of red if you're drawn to something deeper and darker. Go for it, but definitely keep with the red, because we're working with heart, and when we think of heart, we think of a red heart. So you can do pink as well if you want to be more gentle energy, but we're also harnessing that root chakra energy when we use the red, and the red helps us to feel that grounded security that we need when we're heartbroken. We don't feel safe, and so that helps pull that energy in as well. And you're definitely going to need a lighter, some kind of lighter to light your main candle to work with, or maybe light your candle ahead of time. And then just to set the tone of the space, perhaps introduce some sage. Lavender sage actually works best for this, because lavender is all about love and bringing that energy in. So that is a really good way to incorporate it. But nonetheless, these are the tools that you will need. Also make sure you have a storage bag for the heart that you're going to be making. I'm just using this little muslin bag, but you can use any organza bag. You can use a box or make something really elaborate, because the point of all of this is to keep the heart safe once you're done creating it. So, you know, a bag to put it in, or a box, or any maybe you have something special that you want to use, even a jar, just something to store it properly so it's not just thrown around. And also a little side note that you can do is add a little string hook at the top, so that maybe you can have it hanging somewhere. But I think the best thing to do is just have it as a talisman that can be put or carried on the body at some point in time, whenever you feel you need it. Maybe leave it by the bedside if someone's heartbroken and just they need to move on and cry it out, then they have like a little pillow to hold on to. And then lastly, you will need an embroidery needle. So those usually have a wider head at the top to fit their embroidery strand through. So it's kind of hard to see, but you can see how wide that is, because embroidery thread is pretty thick. It's comprised of multiple strings put together, so it's a little hard to feed in thread. So take your time with it, enjoy the process. Maybe sit down, light some candles, play some music, play things that make you feel better. If you were doing this spell for a friend or a loved one and not for yourself, then really just focus on them. Maybe put a picture of them nearby. Make sure you have their blessing. Make sure they're open to receive the energy, but just something to think of them while you're working on it. So again, like a picture, or maybe a song or a band that they like would really help with that. And so yeah, just have fun with this. Okay, so to start the spell, I like to have everything laid out in front of me and do a little bit of consecration, cleansing, and setting the intention. So lighting your sage, lavender sage or white sage, you can consecrate it with this simple blessing. As you pass the smoke over everything, I consecrate these tools for healing a heart. I set the intention for a fresh start. And you can repeat this chant over and over or not. When you're done, you can go ahead and remove everything from your altar or workspace and make sure you have everything close by. You can begin with setting up everything in an easier way to work with. So you can put your herbs in front of you, make sure the oils and all the other items you're going to be working with are open so that you can work a little more fluidly and not get distracted later on. So go ahead and make sure all your candles that you're going to have nearby are lit and ready to go. Once you're ready, go ahead and get that red felt and cut about a 3 to 4 inch square, and you're going to fold that square in half and cut out the shape of heart, and then you're going to do that again so that you have 2 equal pieces, making 2 red hearts in the same size and shape. Then you can bring your tools back closer to you just so you can feel like you're back in the energy before you begin sewing or mending your heart. First, you're going to gather your rosebuds and you're going to sprinkle them into the pestle and mortar as you're working, and make sure that you're holding that intent in your energy of the hands that you're emitting. And then do the same with your witch hazel, and just remember you are working to mend a broken heart, so keep holding that energy strong and true. And then take your hands and really put out the energy, and you can say a consecrated blessing. Love is true, the heart be not broken, love starts within, new love is awoken. Take this energy to intertwine, the mending of a heart that needs to shine. I cast this spell to heal and grow, the heart now intact, this now I know. And then proceed to grind up your herbs accordingly. You don't want them too fine where they're going to fall out of the sachet, but you don't want them too big either where they're going to pop out and poke the hands that hold the heart. So when you're done with that, go ahead and grab your rose quartz and anoint your palms of your hands with your healing oil, whatever may that be. And placing the favorite piece of rose quartz within your hands, you can say this consecration blessing over again, holding that energy strong and true to mend the broken heart. Once you feel you have the energy put into the stone, you can drop it in your mortar and pestle with the other herbs and let it all kind of mesh together. Now, taking your 2 pieces of red felt hearts, you're going to get your red string ready. And so before you start, you can also bless the string by quickly passing it through the flame. Be careful with this. You don't want to set it on fire. You just want the heat to feel like it's warming something, bringing life to something, and healing energy to something. Make sure that you get enough thread to make it all the way around the heart. Then take a moment to thread your needle. It might take some time to do so. Enjoy this practice, enjoy the moment, and just be with the energy. Remember to stay patient during this time, especially if you're new to sewing. Once you thread your needle, make sure that your workspace is clear so that nothing catches on fire. Always work with safety in mind as well. And you're going to take your 2 heartfelt pieces and you're going to line up the bottom tip of both of them. Once they're really well lined up, you can go ahead and make that first knot. So passing the needle through the bottom tip of the heart, make sure that you get it all the way through, no kinks in the thread, and go ahead and tie off your first knot. once that first knot is complete, you're on your way to mending that broken heart. Just make sure that you keep the two hearts lined up on the sides at all times so that it creates a bit of a pouch, and just go stitch by stitch. Remember that you can keep saying the prayer for each stitch, or you can just keep holding that intention, but just work your way up and around, but don't close it just yet. So when you get to a point where you have about 1.5 inches space left before you finish closing the heart, so generally one whole side of the heart, go ahead and hold that pouch open and take your consecrated rose quartz and drop it within the heart. And then proceed with filling the rest of the heart with your herbs. Make sure they're mixed very well and use your hands to make this happen. Keep the energy strong that you're emitting to really mend this broken heart. Know that you're filling your heart with so much love and light, so much healing energy, and just so much of that grounding energy as well. Don't overfill the heart and don't overstuff it, because your herbs might fall out eventually. So just make sure that you fill it in a comfortable way, and then make sure that the rose quartz finds its way back to the center of the heart. This will also make it easier when it comes to sewing it closed. Then go ahead and proceed with your stitches until you find yourself at the end. And when you cut that cord at the end, perhaps set the intention or be mindful of what you're cutting that cord from. And there you have it, a beautiful mended heart, a heart that is not broken, a heart that you can give to someone or hold on to for yourself. And when you're happy and satisfied, you can clean up any of the edges, make sure the heart is clean and nice and neat and tidy, and you can go ahead and put it into that sachet or that box to keep it safe and to keep it clean and take care of it. You can always take it out at any time to revisit it, smell it. It's going to have a really nice aroma that you can associate with a healing heart. So that was the spell, guys. It's really nice because it becomes a talisman that you can carry with you, or that you can gift to a friend and show them that their heart is not broken, it is actually intact. They can hold it at any time. The loving energy of rose quartz in the middle, filled with the witch hazel and the rosebud, it just really feels like so positive and happy, and it's just something that's really sweet to gift to someone who might just be going through it right now. And that's why I like to put it in a little sachet, so when you give it to them, it keeps it clean. They can put it away, they can tuck it away somewhere safe, or they can maybe hang it up somewhere so they see it always. It's up to them, it's up to you, whoever you're doing the spell for, but put it in a little bag. Just, it makes it so much more subconsciously safe. You can even put it in a box because it's their heart, so they need to take care of it, and it shouldn't be thrown around anywhere. So that's where the sachet or box or wherever you store it is kind of an important aspect of it. You can even put it under lock and key if you like, but it's not necessary. It's just something to take the extra step to do the care and the packaging for it. So I hope this helps many of you, or maybe it's something that you know a friend or family member is going through, and it makes such a beautiful gift, especially for Valentine's Day, when you know someone just might not be having a good day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this spell video. I hope it makes you happy, and if your heart is not broken, you can always do it for yourself, just to have a little talisman, a little spell, a little magic of just love and love for yourself and self-love. You can always twist the intention around and just make it a self-love spell, and not about mending a broken heart, but just making your heart stronger, making it happier, healthier, and full of love, light, and abundance. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you come back to watch the next video. I love you all so very much. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Bye.